Welcome to the Escape with Nick and Adam. My name is Nick.
And I'm a soul trapped in a body. I didn't ask to be born, and I'm afraid to die. And that's the shit I live in every day. My name is Adam.
And we are joined by the not late, but still great Nate from Night of the Chihuahuas.
Fuck.
He's on time, so good.
You can just call me the part-time lover.
Oh, all right. All right, so we're going to talk some Ahsoka. Well, I'm going to talk some Ahsoka. We're going to talk about, we're going to pay tribute to Bob Barker with our favorite movie cameos. So hope you guys came prepared. But guys, how are we doing? Nate, we got big news.
Oh, yes, we do have big news. We, and by me, I mean we, what? We're all going to Motor City Con in November, the Escape Podcast, and Night of the Chihuahuas, coming together like fingers.
Don't want to wait until you know me better.
There's a word for this. There's a word for this. You know the word for putting your fingers like this?
No.
It's called interdigitate. Isn't that a cool word?
That is a very cool word. Interdigitate. I'm doing it, but I'm holding my phone, so.
Everything need a word? Like,
you need a word for everything. There should be a word for us going to Motor City Con together.
It is. It's amazing and awesome. It's 2 words.
Yes. AAA, amazing and awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun because we're gonna do an Airbnb for the weekend. So I don't know how much like rock stars we're gonna party, but it probably won't be much. But it's gonna be as close as we can get.
Yes,
especially for 2 guys that don't drink. So
David drinks, but he's not a lush, so he's a pretty chill.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can deal with Dave having a few beers, but it's like I was just like, yeah, I don't know, but I think we're gonna try and do. We're gonna try and have fun, guys. No, I think we're gonna try and do a show, like post Comic-Con show, so it'll be fun. I can't wait. I'm very excited. It's starting to sound a little bit expensive, so I'm gonna have to put in some overtime, so it's be fine. So, but even my wife's like, "What am I gonna do?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, so.
Well, hopefully you guys will get some cool interviews on the floor, or get people to come to the booth, and that'll be I'll be locked in.
Yeah, I'll walk Adam around on a leash, and he'll growl like kids, and we'll have our own live Chihuahua. So,
get him some little ears.
Yeah,
Halloween's coming up.
I'd say the fun part is that won't be out of line at a Comic-Con, so it's fine.
I could wear my new Batman cowl.
Yes, ooh,
that too. That's you could just do that for fun. So.
So you're acting like you don't do it already at home.
Yeah,
I've worn it once, twice. I put it on in the car when I bought it. Kind of looked in the mirror, popped it off, and then I think it was 2 weeks ago. I actually put on the whole ensemble, just except I left the cape off. I wanted to see how it was going to look on Halloween. If I needed to make adjustments, I need to make some adjustments, but it's fun.
Nice.
It's really fun. It's a full cowl. It's got 2 plugs that kind of go into your ear too. It's neat.
Weird. I haven't seen that. Yeah, I can't buy anything fun like that because my head's gigantic and it won't fit. So just not an option. It's not a good thing.
It's surprising how natural it feels to wear Batman's cowl.
How natural you just go, I'm Adam.
Cats are like, what?
Welcome. Yeah, the cats are like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Sarcastic. So, all right, so let's get into it. Oh, good Lord. Ahsoka, episode 3. Yeah, I think it's a little early for like a filler episode. It's once you chop off the intro and then the what happened in the last one, like it's like a 28-minute episode, and you're like, that seems rather strange for like the 3rd act in your 8-part miniseries. Like we're just gonna get through this one pretty quick, but let's see here. I've got notes. So. Okay. So there's a training sequence between Ahsoka and Sabine, and I hate it because they're practicing. She's practicing with like a wooden. It looks like a wooden katana, and it's very. There's a heavy, I'm gonna say probably Japanese influence, and you're just like, okay, like this is, my head's just screaming, this isn't Star Wars, like constantly, and she's training with the droid, and even like they put up these like holographic things that she's cutting. And it looks like the reeds that they bundled together, like when you practice cutting with a katana and stuff. And I'm just like, there's so much like that they lean into, like especially this one and this character of like Asian influence. I'm just like, that's not what George Lucas was going for. Like he took bits and pieces and cobbled something together to make it, different. And you could recognize the different pieces, but it was like, oh, like I see what he's doing, and he's pulling from here, pulling from here, pulling. And this one is like, yep, just Asian influence, totally. So, yeah, because she trains with the droid, which is David Tennant's character. I don't care to remember because I don't care. And then she does a one-on-one training session with
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. I'm just like, let's just skip the show.
That's what happened.
Yeah, Bob Barker snuck in, punched her in the gut, said,
"Yes, I can't wait to watch."
It's amazing. It really came out of nowhere, Nate.
You said the word "bitch" with such conviction just a second ago. Bitch. Bitch. That's great. That was great.
Mike bitch for you.
Oh man, Drew and Mike.
But yeah, and then there's a training session between Sabine and Ahsoka, and it's so freaking boring. Like they take like one of the most critical elements in A New Hope was just the quick training of it's supposed to be reminiscent of that because she's wearing like the blast shield and all that. And I'm just like, you guys just.
She got a lightsaber when she's wearing the blast shield?
No, she's got a wooden stick.
Well, what is she wearing the blast shield for? Is the droid shooting her?
No, he's just holding up the holographic reeds, and she's hitting the thing. Or no, she's wearing the blast shield when she trains with Ahsoka. And Ahsoka just taps her in certain spots, and she tries to attack. And I'm just like,
maybe the droid should shoot with like holographic sand at the blast shield.
Well, that was the thing with Luke training. That was the thing with Luke training. Hey, when you screw up, there's consequences. There's never any consequences in this show. It's so damn frustrating. And Nate, you were in the military, correct? So you kind of understand how like military rank and file things work.
Yeah.
If let's say there's a top secret thing, like whatever, like not top secret, like there's different secret levels. And there's, a couple times this happens where Hera, she's like, hey, I want to know what's going on here to these New Republic guys. And they're like, oh, that's top secret. And she just goes, I'm a general. And I'm like, that's not how a general would go back with that. He'd say, she would say, hey, okay, well, here's my clearance, or why, or, what's the clearance level on this? And who made it the clearance level this like that? I'm just like, there's so many different ways they could go with doing that instead of just going, I'm a general and a girl boss. So that's all she was missing. Was
two snaps and a twist.
And that's all that was missing from those scenes, because they've done it a few times where it's just like, I'm a general. And everybody be like, and? Because that doesn't help it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, it's still top secret, and we're still not going to tell you.
I would have said so was Kenobi.
Well, I said so was Lando Calrissian, for that matter. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So a general in Star Wars, not exactly. They're kind of passing those out to anybody who's really got experience. So
that's true. You got to point there: General Solo, General Calrissian,
General Leia.
And why does like Kenobi get to be a Jedi and a general? That's like, that's stealing off of other people's dinner plates.
Yeah, that's wartime commission. So it's just whatever. Anything goes. It's fine. But it's just. What were you saying?
I was going dark with it. I was
Oh,
they
okay.
probably gave him the rank so that he could have a license to kill.
Basically what he did the entire time. So yeah. But
Yeah.
and so that Hera goes to this council, and the council basically shoots down her idea that she wants to take the fleet over to go find Thrawn. Now, here is the biggest problem with this show that they have yet to address and yet to fix. If you have not seen several seasons of Clone Wars, Rebels, all of Rebels, basically parts of Kenobi and parts of Mandalorian, you've got no idea what the hell's going on in this show. You don't know why Sabine is mad at Ahsoka and why Ahsoka is mad at, or why Sabine's mad at Ahsoka. Like, you don't know the dynamics. You don't know who Ezra is and why everybody cares to go get Ezra.
I can't resist this, right?
Is it better than Ezra?
Yeah,
Nothing's better
you
than
went
Ezra.
there.
I was going to say
All right.
So, now that
they were number 2 on the pop charts.
Okay,
the ones in Star Wars, Ezra, the guy or girl, whatever it is, in Star Wars, they were number 2 on the pop charts. You know who number 1 was?
Was Geggy Tom.
Ezra. That was Ezra. Better than Ezra. See, number 2 was Ezra.
Okay, I had one of those like midlife crisis issues because I was listening to the local oldie station or classic station, and they were playing Jimmy Eat World, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Why are they playing Jimmy Eat World on the oldies / classic rock? I was like, is Jimmy Eat World classic rock? Like, son of a bitch.
I don't know when it happened, but it happened.
Yeah, I don't know. There's because we have the local oldie station is 104.3, and it's one of those like, hey, we'll flip on this because we want to hear some classic music. I was like, that's not classic music, you bastard.
Sometime after 2026, you're going to turn on that oldie station. Maybe 2024 would be pushing it. But you're going to turn on that oldie station and you're going to hear, I saw the sign and it opened up my mind.
Okay, first of all, I'm surprised it's not on there now. First of all, I had a actual like freak out moment when I heard Thriller come on the oldie station. So that since then it's freaked me out. So
I've had this idea for a long time. I was in the military. I sang cadence. I can kind of sing a little bit, but I wanted to be a lounge singer. I don't know, in my 30s, but only sing hip hop.
Isn't that Richard Cheese or whatever? Doesn't he do that?
I don't know. Is there somebody that did it? I was like, for a while.
There was a guy who did a lounge version. Yeah. Richard Cheese. He did Dick Cheese. He did Down with the Sickness, the one from
because he's got a whole thing. Hold on.
I wanted to do Snoop Doggy Dogg, what I wanted to do, but Snoop Doggy.
Yes. We've gone so far off the.
Who's Ahsoka?
Yeah, Rosario Dawson. Whatever.
Rosario Dawson.
Which turtle is she?
Which? Here's a fun fact. I can't remember what comedian it is, but he said, "Would you date a golden girl?" He goes, "Runa Clanahan is the same age when she started the Golden Girls as Courtney Cox is now. So yeah, I would totally date a golden girl."
They just did their hair differently.
Yep.
Richard Cheese does WAP. So
I'll look it up later. We don't want to.
Yeah, I'll say you got it. But it's totally in that lounge. So he does Inner Sandman. Creep. Creep's a good one. Old Town Road. I bet that one's amazing.
There's just too much content on the internet. You can't.
Yeah, well, I can't say that one. Beat It, Hash Pipe, Bohemian Rhapsody, American Idiot. So yeah, he's got a whole thing. He's been doing it. He's been in the game a long time. So,
Well,
but anyway,
now I feel like I'm old and out of irrelevance. So.
No, it just means that you had a good idea. Some people just get to them first.
now I write stories about killer hares. So
yeah. I say some sucker might have given up on that one. Nate's like, no, I'm going ahead with that one. That one's mine, son.
I don't want to veer off, but there is a movie called Bad Hair, and it's a like African American themed story, and I haven't watched it on purpose because I had my idea before their movie came out. So when I get a good finalized right, I'm going to watch and to see kind of where their movie goes. But
so there's I mean Nate's version, and then there's already the blaxploitation version.
Yes, but I mean, there's no original idea anymore, right?
No,
there's getting your spin on it. So I bet they didn't mention Mervin's in theirs.
Yeah, hey,
no,
probably not, Nate.
As soon as I read that Mervin's, I started laughing.
All right. Sorry.
But anyway, so Ahsoka. So the biggest problem is if you have not watched most of the Disney Plus content, you'll have no idea what the hell's going on in the show. And you don't know why Grand Admiral Thrawn is, one, a badass, two, a devastating nemesis to go against, and why they should be freaked out. And I don't know exactly how long between Rebels and Ahsoka takes place, but at the end of Rebels, Grand Admiral Thrawn and Ezra get flung off into some far distant galaxy, and there's a fucking space whale. And don't worry, if you watch the end of the third one, there's flipping space whales. I don't know why Dave Filoni thought space whales were a good idea, but
oh wait, that came from the old cartoon.
Which cartoon?
Because they were in the end of one of the Mandalorian episodes as well. I don't know, Rebels or
because it's a Dave Filoni thing, so it's from Rebels. But
did he write Rebels?
Yes. Yeah, he did. I think he did a good chunk, if not all of Clone Wars, the cartoon, Rebels, and now he had hands in Mandalorian, mainly season 3, and then he's got the executive producer credit for Ahsoka, because Ahsoka is mainly all his characters, like Hera, Sabine, Ezra, and I think it's Morgan or whatever is the big bad. They're all from Rebels, so they're all his characters. So, and I was watching Film Threats cast earlier today. I think it's from yesterday. Alan from that show made a great point where you need to know more about Disney Star Wars to be caught up for the show than actual original Star Wars. So you need to watch all of that, and you can watch none of the George Lucas Star Wars, and you'll be just fine. So I thought it was a fascinating point where I was like, that's a damn good point, Alan, where it's like you have to be caught up on, just the most recent Star Wars stuff and have no idea about any of the old Star Wars stuff. And I thought that was an interesting point, but
that is interesting to think about.
Yeah, that's a hell of a thing. It's like saying, "Hey, welcome to the Bat family or Superman family," but you don't have to really know Superman's backstory. About how
I got a little beef with the Superman family.
Let's go. Okay, I agree with you. I have a beef with the DC's where everybody gets a family now.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. The Bat family just kind of happened. It was very organic.
Right.
And then it was like, well, wait a minute. We have a Superboy. We have a Supergirl. And there's a Lois Lane. We can get her pregnant and all that stuff. And
we can knock her up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the beef I have with the Superman families. Everybody gets a family. Even Arrow's got a family.
Yeah,
Green Arrow.
Arrow, Flash. I'm like, that was kind of my point with. That's where I got frustrated with the show, where I was like, is everybody going to be a speedster at the end of the show? Because, you kind of take away the novelty of the flash of everybody's got the Speed Force now.
It's kind of funny how well they played the fan service too, where they were like, well, John Diggle's got to be John Stewart somehow. And then they made it happen.
So,
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a good choice for John Stewart. It just was not their original idea. Who are you fooling?
Like, hey, Chris Evans, you're a good looking guy, but that doesn't mean you need to play every dude in freaking the MCU. You're already Johnny Blaze. You're already freaking Captain America. Like, get out of here. So, but anyway, so if you haven't watched any of that, you're pretty much lost. If you just parachute into Ahsoka, you've got no idea what the hell's going on, and they don't help you out at all. Like, they don't tell you why Thrawn is such a threat, and like why, because he's not just like he's a genius, but he's not just a tactical genius, as you know, it like militarily, where he's just. Adam, what's going on?
I have to take a drink. I have to take a drink. That's all. Sorry.
What are we looking at? I'm kind of confused.
I think we're just looking at the ground.
Is this an entryway into another dimension?
I think this is the Twilight Zone right here.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh,
Coke Zero does a body good.
Anyway, like, so I'm not a Grand Admiral Thrawn expert, but I know plenty about him, where he really wasn't done very much justice in Rebels. But like in the Timothy Zahn books, like he's just a military genius, where instead of just tactically and militarily being an overwhelming force, like if you were to go take over, attack the planet, what he would actually do was study their culture, study them through their arts and everything, and figure out a way to beat them that way instead of just having to have, the biggest, strongest army. So he's really a really fascinating character, and I think they're just gonna push shit out of him. So, not happy about it. He's probably, I think, and they were talking about this on some other shows and speculating. I think they're probably right, where he's probably going to get introduced towards the end of the season, maybe in the last couple episodes, but he's not going to be defeated. So it's kind of just like, here he is, and then wait for the next show, kind of like what Marvel has been doing. Like, blah, blah, blah.
You're kind of cutting in.
Here's the movie, and then here it is. We're just kind of setting up the next thing, and this movie is just to set up the next thing, and that's what Disney's really doing with Star Wars. It's like, here's sort of a story, but this is just to set up the next thing, and it's just. Okay.
Well, Marvel loves to do that too, though.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, and
it's funny because everybody thought that that's what you were supposed to do after that, and
no, they started. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The first of the Disney franchises that they did with was Pirates of the Caribbean, because the first one was phenomenal. And then every sequel after that was just, oh, here's the thing, but you're going to have to find out what happens in the next movie, and it's like, oh, okay. So every movie's just to set up the next sequel to set up the next sequel. And it's like, okay.
I was heavily misdirected with that movie. I walked out of that theater so pissed off. I was like, oh my God. And this is because I expected to see pirates, not some yeah.
Johnny Depp as Keith Richards.
You're right. Johnny Depp as Keith Richards. I was like, they're doing some crazy, wow. And then I was like, what is this?
What's this bull crap?
Yeah.
It's like, I want to see.
I was never a fan.
I want to see Blackbeard pirates, not like Disney pirates, which.
Right. Started to see the world a little differently.
Yes, and then there's a dogfight, and it's the least compelling, most boring dogfight in existence. So the ship is going to they following a lead to this mysterious structure. It looks like a hyper ring that helps whatever, makes a ship go to farther and faster than ever before, whatever. And so while they're coming up on it, they get attacked. Their ship's disabled, and as the ship's disabled, the Sabine's trying to get it. It's Sabine and Ahsoka in the ship. Sabine is trying to get the ship back going. So what does Ahsoka do? Ahsoka gets out of the ship, stands on the ship, and fights the fighters.
That's some Jedi stuff. It's what we wanted to see Luke Skywalker do in The Last Jedi, but you know,
it was just so like, do they shoot the ship? No, they kind of shoot at her, and it's just like, see, the problem, part of the issue with modern day sci-fi is Star Wars, because, and I've said this before, where like the reason Star Wars is special because it can get away with certain things, like, but even now, like, you know, it's 2023, your science fiction fan is a pretty sophisticated fan, because between Star Wars, Star Trek The Next Generation, shows like The Expanse, you know, Stargate, all these sci-fi shows who actually make an effort to kind of sometimes, when you can, make the science work, right? So when you're in space and someone shoots the ship, it wouldn't just have no effect on the ship. There would be things popping up off the ship, and it would be incredibly dangerous to be standing on the hull of a ship with lightsabers out, attacking ships. And I'm just like, dude,
You know what happened? She was up there and they shot, and she's like, "I'm a general."
yeah, she's
I'm a general.
I'm a general. So your bullets
Uncut gems.
me. Yeah. But it was just, it's hard. It was, and it's just boring. Like the second episode, I fell asleep a couple times. I had to be like, all right, I gotta get up and walk around, because it's just, I don't know how they.
I am going to have to experience this. I am going to have to experience this myself. I will have to watch the show just to kind of see where we lie. I'll try to make that happen.
And you should, just because you and I, just because we have different opinions on certain things. Like, there's not too much I like, but I think, and like I say, I don't want to just hear myself talk. I like hearing other people's opinions, just in case I'm wrong or I didn't see something. So,
we're doing a little reconstruction here. So, but yeah, absolutely.
So if you got spare time and you want to give Adam your password to your Disney Plus account, knock yourself out. So, but it's it's episode 3. It's hard. It's already difficult. So,
I heard it was good. I was looking forward to something fresh and good.
It's fresh. Different a little bit. Different by me, not really Star Wars, but
Nick's giving it the Noah's Arcade.
What about
from Wayne's World?
Did you guys talk about the trailer for Rebel Moon?
No, I
didn't watch it.
I watched it, but it's also when is that coming out, Nate?
I do not know. I was pleasantly surprised by the trailer, but
because that kind of looks kind of Star Warsy. Where I know it's supposed to be pitched as a Star Wars movie, and I'm kind of happy that they're not doing that. So Rebel Moon, marked as Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, is an upcoming American epic space opera film directed by Zack Snyder from a screenplay he co-wrote with Kurt Johnstad and Shay.
Zack Snyder, huh?
Yeah. Well, he's got the.
So is this a Star Wars thing or what?
No, it was. He was originally. He originally pitched it to be in the Star Wars universe. I think they said no, so he's like, whatever, cool. I'll just take the Netflix.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Escape,
where only silly boys get to hang out.
Yeah,
silly boy. No, okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So, all right. So this is from Wikipedia. So, in a universe controlled by the corrupt government of the Mother World, the moon of Velt is threatened by the forces of the Imperium. the army of Mother World controlled by Regent Belisarius. Cora, a former member of the Imperium who seeks redemption for her past and the leadership of the oppressive government, takes herself to recruit warriors from across the galaxy to make a stand against the Mother World's forces before they return to the planet. So, in all honesty, it kind of sounds like generic sci-fi, but I mean the trailer looked good, and I'm not the biggest fan of Zack Snyder's writing abilities, but I am a big fan. I think he makes good-looking movies.
Yeah.
So,
There's another one called The Creator. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for
I
that.
saw the and I've been meaning to talk about that because that is that's another one that looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I have not seen that.
I forget what song was in the trailer, but it definitely had an emotional punch with the visuals going on. It was like it was like a 70s rock song, but it was like it was just give me the old one too. Oh
yeah. So the creator is from. Hold on. So, all right. So the creator comes out September 29th from writer-director Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One and Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
Right, look for so what is the creator about from hold on, pull this up real quick. From Fandango, from writer-director Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One and Godzilla, comes an epic sci-fi action thriller that set amidst a future war between the human race and forces of artificial intelligence. Joshua, who is John David Washington from Tenet, a hardened ex-special forces agent grieving the disappearance of his wife, Gemma Chan, from the Eternals, is recruited to hunt down and kill the creator. The elusive architect of advanced AI who has developed a mysterious weapon with the power to end the war and mankind itself. Joshua and his team, elite operatives, journey across enemy lines into the dark heart of AI-occupied territory, only to discover the world-ending weapon he's been instructed to destroy is an AI in the form of a young child.
It doesn't sound as good reading it.
When you read it, it doesn't sound as good, but
No,
the trailer looks good. So
yeah, it looks really good.
So yeah, that was
one of read it. I'm just saying.
No, it's like Nick sounds like crap when he reads because he reads like a child.
And then the bad guys.
And the AI kid goes oogie boogie. Yeah, that one.
All those dinosaurs in Jurassic Park and not a single butthole of a dinosaur.
No dinosaur dumps?
No.
Dino dumps.
Dino dumps.
Dumps like a truck.
You're going to start making slogans?
Dinosaurs. I was going to go dino saucers. Dino saucers. I don't know if you guys remember that cartoon.
Velocipaster. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
What?
Velocipaster. Yes.
There's a movie called
Really?
Velocipaster. Yes.
Nice. Is it a saved pastor? I mean, a saved raptor?
No, it's a pastor that transformed into a velociraptor. And henceforth,
it's on Netflix. It is a legitimate. I mean, if that can be a movie, Night of the Chihuahuas can be a movie.
That's why. That's what I'm saying. I was like, just lean into it. Lean into the ridiculousness. There's a market for it.
Yes. Adam looks doubtful, though.
I'm not. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of how fun the possibilities.
So, all right. So, Adam, we lost the legend. Over
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker.
Come on down. They called him. He finally got selected.
My favorite thing in the world is that they're like, he died at 91 or 99 and he didn't hit $1. I was like, oh, that's so good. That's the best. So in honor of that, we are doing our favorite movie cameos, and you can't pick Bob Barker because that's just the best one. So Who wants to jump in first?
Stanley, X-Men,
Okay.
where Senator Kelly washes up on the beach.
Right. Is he a hot dog vendor? No, it's not the hot dog vendor. He's just the guy on the beach.
Yeah. I love that one.
That's a classic one.
So favorite movie cameos just in general?
Yeah.
I should have went with Stan Lee and Mallrats.
That's my favorite, actually. At least of the Stan Lee cameos.
Yeah. Change.
So, yeah, I can go real quick, Nate. So I'm gonna go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Airplane. My favorite. It's so funny because the kid's like, "Hey, aren't you?" He's like, "Hey, kid, I'm a pilot. All right, leave me alone." He throws it up. So that's, and just because Airplane is another. It's just like, I love Airplane. It's one of those just. It's so clever. It's so ridiculous. I love it. So.
I am at a loss right now. I hate to admit it. I am at a complete loss. Wow. I am humbled. I will prostrate myself before thee. I have these. I'm not feeling very well right now. I'm sad.
Oh, it's fine.
I got another one.
Oh, go ahead.
Alanis Morissette and Dogma.
Yeah, but is she actually Alanis Morissette, or is because she's God, right?
Oh, that's right. Well, she has to be. You have to be yourself. Are you okay?
They're playing themselves.
Fair enough.
I'll go with the worst.
All right.
And I'll go with Bruce Willis in Ocean's 12.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
I love the Ocean's movies, at least Ocean's 11 and 13. I actually really like those. 12 is ruined because this is the premise of this one where, they're going to rob something. They're going to steal jewels, I think, in that one. And they're like, oh, hey, there's Bruce Willis. Oh, hey, what do you know? Julia Roberts' character kind of looks like Julia Roberts. So we're going to and Julia Roberts is friends with Bruce Willis. So we'll just have our character in the movie who's not Julia Roberts pretend to be Julia Roberts and be friends with Bruce Willis.
That's the worst.
That's the dumbest freaking thing I've heard in most movies.
There's a lot.
That's how dumb it is. And the fact that I didn't stumble over that, I'm more amazed. So. And that just, it was going fine because it was just like you got all the guys back from Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12. They're going to do things and steal things, and it's cool and it's fun, and it's just like, oh man, that just record screech, brakes squealing, crashing into wall. That movie just came to a screeching halt, and I don't know how someone's like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Bad.
Yeah. So Bob Barker.
Okay, we're too quiet.
Yeah, I say Bob Barker. Guys, so.
Bob Barker died. Well, we were having a moment of silence. That was the dead air.
I was like, yeah.
Moment of silence. All right, so think about The Price is Right, though. It was on every day you called in sick for school when you were a little kid, or perhaps you had to get dropped off at your grandparents' house or something. There was The Price is Right, and God, that guy. I mean, he was in our living rooms every day for all those years.
I say after the cartoons, you knew it was like, hey, let's go find The Price is Right. And,
Eventually it would say, okay, boring old people, lead me to toys.
Right. But it was funny because I saw an interview with him. He's like, Bob Barker says, I moved to Hollywood in the 60s, and it wasn't until a silly golf movie made by Adam Sandler where they actually let me be an actor himself. So, but it was like, that's the first time he actually got to act in a movie.
Really?
Yeah. Did I send you the? I sent you the thing where they did the reunion where they fought in the hospital.
Yeah, I
Yes.
saw that.
Yes,
Oh
you
my
did. Oh God, I was crying.
I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know where that came from or how I missed it, but I was like, son of a biscuit. I was like, that was so freaking funny.
I was crying laughing, man. My ribs were breaking.
Yeah. So, and I didn't send it to my wife, and I meant to because I was like, oh yeah, I need to send that to you because I was
I just gotta I gotta throw my cameo in there that came to
okay.
mind. Bill Murray in Zombieland.
Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
Very well done.
Yeah, that's a. Oh gosh. He's sitting there, he pokes him. He's like, yeah, that's still tender. Well, and
I could tell you like 3 or 4 good cameos in a bad movie.
go ahead.
Everybody go ahead and read my mind, but Adam West, George Reeves, Christopher Reeves, and Helen Slater, and like was there one other one? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. In The Flash.
Adam, you finally came around on that one. We can talk about the Flash. What did you think of that one? I don't know if we even talked.
After I processed it, after I saw it, I mean, first of all, A+ effort for making a good looking movie. As far as not like the shitty babies and microwave effects. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, they
But
got that out of the way early.
Yeah, that looked terrible. But as far as you went on this whole adventure, and then you got to understand from my point of view, first time seeing the movie, I was with it, I was following it, and then bam, I was yanked right out of the movie and into another movie as soon as Michael Keaton took screen. Like I was back in the 1989, I was living in that world. And then I saw it a second time.
Oh, you went back for more?
Oh yeah. I owned it. I bought it on Vudu. And I watched it, and then I'm watching Ezra Miller interact with Ezra Miller. I'm reminded of how I never really liked his version of the Flash. It has nothing to do. I mean, it has a lot to do with he was wrong for the role, but the fact that he even played the Flash as some kind of
autistic,
as an autistic, it reminded me of an autistic version of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And the Flash is no version of Peter Parker at all.
Nope.
And so, yeah, I think the only scene he wins me over as the Flash is in Snyder's Justice League, where they're talking about resurrecting Superman, and instead of saying, oh, we shouldn't do this, it could be Pet Cemetery like he did in the original cut, in the Snyder cut he goes, we have to do this. He's basically saying we're irresponsible if we don't, which is reminiscent of what something like Tony Stark would say, because he's a scientist in his mind, first and foremost. Right. So, yeah, The Flash sucked. The Michael Keaton stuff I loved. I unapologetically, I will tell you, I loved all the Michael Keaton stuff.
Well, and that's part of the problem with just making a Flash movie and including not only one Batman, but several Batman. And, you got Superman. Everybody. As soon as Batman and Superman pop up in a DC movie, it becomes a Batman and Superman movie. Like, you can't have...
Sure, yeah.
Because it's like mom and dad are home. Like, the parents are home. Like, it's that type of thing where it's like, the Flash is like the older brother, like older sister, older sibling, where they're in charge until mom and dad get home, which is Batman and Superman.
Well, and then you have that scene in the beginning where he says, "I understand that I'm the janitor or cleanup guy of the Justice League." No, you're not.
I hated that.
No, you're not.
I hated that whole millennial take on the whole situation where it's like, oh, I'm not as good as such and such. People don't like me as much. I was like, that's not how a hero acts. That's not
how the Flash acts, period.
That's not how they act. He's like, I'm important. What I'm doing is important. Not like, oh, I'm not as good as such and such, so it sucks. I was like, I hated that. I just, the whole portrayal of Barry Allen just seems so wrong to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it was.
So, Nate, did you see Blue Beetle?
Yes.
Have you talked about it on the show yet?
So I was walking out of my driveway and it had just rained, and there was this little thing crawling across the ground. And I was like, wow, what is that? And it was blue, and I was like, wow. So I took a picture and I used my app, Beetle Finder, and
There's an app for everything.
Yeah, I saw it. I was surprised. I liked it more than I thought I would. I was really the villain's redemption at the end like really resonated with me on several levels. I don't know if you want me to get into like the psychology of what I thought of it, but yeah, I enjoyed it. And yeah, my younger son wanted to go see it, and my wife laughed out loud several times. The only thing that was kind of disappointing was that a lot of the dialogue was in Spanish without subtitles, which I felt is kind of alienating for a humongous tentpole for DC. Like,
yeah,
and no one can understand it.
Well, that's part of the problem when you market it towards, and obviously I don't know the demographics of Southern California or California in general, but when you market it towards, the Mexican culture in Southern California, well, I don't understand that culture, and I don't understand Spanish. Yeah. Like I said, so like, yeah, there were a few times where I'm like, they're saying things. I was like, I have no idea what they're saying, but as Adam and I proved, our Spanish is very limited earlier, because on occasion I'll try and do the "Hola, cómo está," and then someone responds, I say "De nada" and move on with my day, or "Bueno," because that's what I know.
My favorite is "Que hora es el baño?"
Where's the bathroom?
What time is the bathroom?
What time is the bathroom?
So
when did we have Taco Bell?
You said something, and it's funny too, because like I know some Spanish, and like even the translations weren't really direct translations, which is fine, I guess. But my son was asking questions, and I'm like, that's not what that means.
Right. Yeah, because
I got stuck thinking
where Spanish is pretty common. It's a second language there. I'm just like, I got no idea what the hell's going on here, guys. Like, I know everybody's like, yay, Mexican superhero, cool. But as your average white guy, as average as it gets, I was like, I've got no idea. This does nothing for me.
Yeah.
I just got stuck thinking about the lady who played Ezra Miller's mom in that movie, Barry Allen's mom. Gee whiz. Like, she yanked me right out of the movie, too, a couple times. I'm like, this is not somebody's fucking mother, man. This is... well, she's got a wardrobe of bikinis.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah. Her and Aunt May go and hang out together,
Yeah. Oh, Aunt May. Mm-hmm. See?
Hey.
Even the Sally Field Aunt May. Yeah.
You can have that one. You're on your own on that one.
Moment of silence for Aunt May.
You know what? Why?
Why not?
Wait. Okay, good. Hey, listen, Sally Field still got some miles, man. Maybe not.
Miles? Got some mileage on them tires. That's like,
she still has some miles left in her. Come on now. She's still a pretty lady.
Yes.
She's still a pretty lady.
That's a handsome woman.
She's really okay.
Come on now. The show's about Barry Allen's mom, not about Sally Field.
Random nonsense. This is our
There.
specialty.
Yep.
Well, I'm not even with you guys. I come in with the random nonsense
I loved you first.
to add to your
Yes,
already
you did, lady.
prevalent random
Yeah.
nonsense. Sorry, I
But
guess I cut out.
no, it's fine. I was like, okay, where do we go now? So,
A good Zorro movie. That's where we go now.
hey, you can have the Blue Beetle kid play it.
That's fine.
I got something kind of cool to share.
Yeah, cool.
So I started a class, comics
Oh yeah.
comics creation and publishing, and there is maybe 7 people in the class, and they're all younger than me, and they're all artists, and our assignment is to make a comic book by the end of the semester.
You're like, I don't know if I can do that one.
So I am here to solicit Adam to draw me comics in crayon.
I was gonna say you're talking to the wrong podcaster.
No, I'm actually, you know, what's kind of cool is I'm going to take Killer Hair. I don't know, Nick, if you got to read the first like 3 pages. It's kind of a standalone intro, but I'm going to.
Yeah, I was actually saving it for the weekend. So
Okay, well, there's a very small intro that happens, and I'm gonna. I talked to an artist today named Andy DeClef, and it's a female, and she's out in San Diego, and she's going to do the character development and the first 4 pages, and I'm going to try to develop a small presentation kit of Killer Hair.
that's fantastic.
That's awesome. It should come with some hair.
That is super creepy, and I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Open it up.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
I said, and we got to work on our comic book.
You guys are going to make a comic book?
We have a premise, and we started, and then we got really busy, and we haven't done anything with it.
Yeah. And life just happened.
What's that?
I know a guy that makes comic books.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. Well, I keep meaning to run it by you, but then every time I'm like, I don't even I have a premise, and that's about it.
I thought you just didn't like it, so that's why we didn't pick it back up. That's what I thought.
No, because I got super busy at work. You got super busy at work, and it was just
God, yeah.
We've got no. I was like, there's no time for creativity, let alone time to get together and actually hash stuff out. So,
tell me about it.
So here's kind of the premise, and it's I don't want it to be like a religious.
I'm taking another drink.
Okay. But I always had, I was at church one time, and they were talking about the gifts of the Spirit. And the one gift of the Spirit is, I forgot, lost my train of thought.
One gift of the Spirit is?
Discernment.
Discernment. Thank you. Spirit of discernment.
Yeah.
And my pastor said, told a story one time, and it stuck with me, where they said that they had the spirit of discernment, which is discern is knowing, being able to recognize things, truth from lies, and reality.
It's your bullshit detector.
Yeah, BS detector, and
God gives you one built in.
And they said that they knew someone who was so strong had the spirit of discernment so strong that they could actually see through the real world and actually see the spiritual realm of the angels and demons battling. And I was just like, if you bring that to, that would kind of be the premise where this one poor young kid has the spirit of discernment so strong where just in their everyday, what everybody sees as just the everyday blah blah blah, they see through to the spiritual realm of someone walking by, and they see the actual battle between the angels and the demons fighting for the souls. And I was just like, golly, that'd be a hell of a, if you could bring that somehow flesh that out. I was like, that'd be a hell of a thing. So I was like, and just to, so many people have an idea what God is and kind of get like, and so many times I just think people kind of not get it wrong, but I was like, if I could show them what my view of what God is, and I just kind of like that. So I just thought I was like, that'd be a hell of a thing if I could bring that, what I envision to people. So
it sounds amazing and awesome. It would be hard to, I think, carry out.
right.
But, yeah, I mean, well, we can talk about it offline, but like how to develop story and stuff like that. Because I'm a master. You guys are reading my first thing that I've put out in the world. I've written a bunch of stuff, but I've always sat on it for the most part.
Well, and that's the thing too, because when you're younger, you're scared. People are like, oh, that's a stupid idea. I was like, I'm in my 40s now. I don't care. Like, I'm just blah, But I know that because there's things that I do well and there's things I don't do well. Like I have the idea and premise, and I can kind of like, this is the way I want to go, but I can't write a script to save my life. I can't do the word bubble scripts, word for word to get here. So there's things where I'm just like, and that's why I think, we talked about this before, where like you said, you sit on ideas because, well, I don't know how to get it to here. Well, that's when you call in other people who do know how to do that, and say like I'm probably gonna pick the crap out of David's brain, in November. Just, let him know that, because we're gonna talk because we're having lots of time together, so we're gonna talk about a bunch of stuff. So, but I'm gonna pick his brain about writing to be like, and
no, I like the discernment thing. Is I just see it being a challenge story wise to visual, like to try to carry the story. I feel like I see a couple of challenges. It's not impossible. I just have to like wrap my head around it. And,
oh, sure. Well, yeah, it's just
and showing your view of God is probably. Everybody's got their own opinion. It's
right. Well, that's the thing. Like Spawn is one of the most popular comics, and it's very much in, it's more horror, obviously, but it's like, yeah, God's real, angels are real, demons are real.
Yeah.
Here's what it is. And if I was like, yeah, if you just do it that way, we're like, don't do the, well, is God like this, or how is this? Like, no, God's real. Here's angels, here's demons, and they're fighting. Like, there's no.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, that makes more sense.
There's no like, oh, is God real? Like, no, God's real. Like, whether you like it or not, and then if the story is interesting enough and draws people in, if the religious undertones, and we're not going to say, God is whatever, you can kind of interpret that however you want, but yes, God's real, and there are angels, there are demons, there are evil, there is, good, right, and wrong. So it's.
And the bastard's sleeping in my bed too.
Yeah, so I'm kind of at the point with like the underwear gnome from like underwear profit. It's like I know like how
first step, steal underpants.
Right. First step, here's the thing. Second step, third step.
Yeah. Fail or succeed.
Yeah. So
when I play with ideas, I get stuff onto paper. Like if it's one of my mentors is like, he was in the internet kind of boom, and he's like, everybody was talking about the $1 million idea. He's like, it's also the $1 million of work that goes into it.
Right.
Having an idea is
the million hours.
Yeah. He's like, having an idea is great, but you need to put it onto paper. And then like I work on developing things from like an idea and expanding that. And like I'm working on a project right now. I changed the name from Diversity to Die. And it's focusing on the origin story that I'm working from is the rape of a black woman in the South in the 1940s. And I've just gotten sunk into this thing, like researching and reading, and it's like super duper cool. And maybe I'm going down too many rabbit holes, but like getting chunks onto paper. Like I can use this, and then I don't know. I enjoy that process, like just little by little. So I'd encourage you, I guess, is just to start write down a couple of things and like plot points you want to talk about, and maybe we can talk about.
Well, I think
make it
because I have been working on it. I say if you want, we can fire off what because Adam actually started scripting out some stuff and then kind of some characters to introduce character development, that type of stuff. So
yeah, send it over to him.
But yeah, it's been a while since we've worked on it, so it's been a while since I was like, where are we with that? Like, where do we leave?
I mean, if you want to send them the first like draft we have or whatever we were at, I can't send it. I don't have internet, so.
You also don't have Disney Plus, so.
Yep.
we know what Adam's getting for Christmas.
Josh Binford liked your video. Josh Binford watching?
Josh is watching.
Josh Binford rules, probably.
Josh Binford does rule.
What up, Joshy B?
So, but yeah, so that's and hell, even just to talk about it on the stream is kind of like, yeah, we're throwing it out there into the ether. But yeah, and just like I said, like you were talking about, like, hey, it's cool to have an idea, and then it's another thing to actually like to develop the idea, to execute it, to flesh it out to the point where, hey, yeah, we're hey, there he is, Josh. What's up? Yeah, and then to, like you said, to put to work in to develop, and I can bring this full circle, which is one of the things that pissed me off about Ahsoka, because Ahsoka is the character that I always use as the character to develop, because they made Ahsoka, almost no one liked her at first, but they made her take her lumps as a character, they developed her, they matured her, they nurtured her, and she became a fan favorite. And now they put out this BS show about, and I'm just like, that's the thing that ultimately drives me the most bad, because they took a character that, a well-liked character, and they just, like, this is dog shit. Here it is. Cool. So.
What would you think of, like, just Star Wars sitcoms?
Star Wars, if they did like a Lower Decks, but Star Wars. Well, I mean, they kind of did that in what's the stop motion? The Seth Green show.
No, I'm saying like Seinfeld or Friends or something, or
what about
or even Roseanne, or like Roseanne.
The Saturday Night Live clip when Adam Driver was trying to act like a maintenance worker.
So the Kylo Ren
something
guy,
like
right?
that.
That would be awesome. I would watch that. See, that's what I'm all about. You got to take something that you got and flip it a little bit, and make it fun and new.
Well, that's If they
make it go goofy.
If they kind of said, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna do Star Wars, but it's gonna be a comedy," you'd be like, "All right, cool, yeah, do it." And then you got you've got plenty enough of the serious stuff. Like I just think that scene in, I think it's second season of Mandalorian with Bill Burr confronting the leader of his unit, that it's like, yeah, like, this is terrible stuff that happened, and you're the reason it happened. You're the one who gave the orders to these terrible things, and he shot him. I was like, that's a hell of a thing. But also, like, and that's where I get so frustrated, because Star Wars is such a cool universe. Yeah, you could totally have a sitcom Star Wars where, hey, like, Greedo's kids, like, I don't know.
Right.
It's so many different ways you could just have fun. I'm just like, and we were talking earlier where I just thought, I knew Disney was going to ruin Star Wars, but just not in the way that they did, because I just thought, hey, it's big corporate company. They're just going to corporatize it. They're going to, mass produce it. Everybody's going to get sick of it. I didn't think they were going to go out of their way to make Star Wars dog crap. I didn't think they would just go out of the way to destroy the characters.
Yeah.
I just,
man in a back room pressing a button, destroy.
Well, I just thought there were so many Star Wars fans in Hollywood who were better at writing than me, and better, at coming up with ideas than me, or any of us that you could continue Star Wars and make Star Wars good at least for a while, right? Just be like, hey, here's a cool premise, but just the way they've just seemingly gone out of their way to destroy Star Wars is just astounding.
Like I said, I'm gonna have to check it out. At this point,
he's like, it's so bad, I have to watch it now.
I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be some things I like, but I mean, I'll look out for it. I mean, I'll be fair.
Yeah, look.
I mean, I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett. You didn't enjoy Book of Boba Fett.
No,
you know.
And
I thought the only thing I didn't enjoy about Book of Boba Fett was its pacing. It had a terrible pacing to it, especially in the beginning.
Dude, that's the thing. You realize, like, one, Dave Filoni should not be allowed to make live action. He should stick to animation because there is a leap from writing a cartoon to lighting real people in a real scene. Like, it does not seem to work. And Disney cannot do television. They simply can't do, either dramatic or just miniseries TV where, like, cause when I was watching Rebels, I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, there's a few good episodes here and there, but overall it's like pretty meh. And you're just like, that seems to be Dave Filoni's MO, where it's like, yeah, there's a few things that were cool, and then the rest of it was like, why did we do that? Why are we doing space whales? What the hell's that? That can travel intergalactically on these weird pathways of things. I'm just like, I don't know. It's I mean, it's been said to death and beaten to death, but like, yeah, Star Wars is dead. It's and we're just beating the poor horse.
I'm picturing you with a dead horse's arm in your hand or leg in your hands, beating the shit out of it with its own leg.
Yeah, I probably ripped. It's a dead tauntaun, and I cut its leg off and I'm just beating him with it at this point. And just go, and yeah.
So. I gotta get going, guys. Thank you.
All right, Nate, my man.
Fine, right. Nate's got a life.
Stay out of trouble.
All right, Nate. We'll talk to you later, my friend.
I'm a general.
I'm a general.
Uncut Chance.
Like a question. I'm a general.
I'm a general. So yeah,
right, see you guys.
Yeah, next time.
Later.
Nate should try that in the Navy. I'm a admiral, so I get to know everything. So
I show up on land with tanks, but I'm a fleet admiral. That's how I roll.
I'm sure that's funny on different levels, Nate, but it's beyond my comprehension of the military structure. So,
all right, see you guys.
Talk to you, Nate.
Good night, man.
And then there were two.
And I've taken a laying down. How unprofessional.
Oh, goodness. So, hold on.
And he goes away. Where does he go? Nobody knows. But let me tell you one thing. You have headaches, he takes your headaches away. Well, that's badass.
You sent me this, and I'm like, I have this figure.
I didn't know you had it.
Yeah, it's one of the first pre-orders I did through Best Buy to see, because Best Buy does pre-orders for NECA now. So
is the party wagon there?
Still waiting. I think they said September. So
okay.
I don't know if I showed you this one, because this was the other Best Buy pre-order, was the Sinja Patrol Bots from last round.
Nice. So you're building the world, man.
Yeah, last Ronin, I'm going hard in.
Yeah.
And oh man, they posted some of the pics from Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, of some of the other figures. They're going so hard on last Ronin stuff. And they have a Mikey, like a normal Mikey, in his all orange like armor and stuff. I think it was freaking badass.
Well, I would buy it, but I would love to get into turtles, man. I would love to.
It's a deep, deep hole, so you gotta be careful.
They've got the most reasonably priced playset that's come out.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, there's so many alleyways that you can go with. Like, you can go pretty high end. Like, they've got the what are these? Are they Mondo? What's the? And that's the thing. Like, there's so many.
Forget about it with Mondo.
Yeah, there's so many different licenses. Like, so many people have just different licenses, and then there's like the knockoff ones that they're just like, yeah, we're making these green turtles that have weapons, but they're not Ninja Turtles. They're just,
Right. But they're usually pretty good.
Oh, they're really cool. And I can't remember the name of the company that does them, but I know a lot of them they're probably foreign because of a lot of them are on AliExpress. So,
yeah. I wish I could have got that Santa Claus action figure. Fresh Monkey Fiction. Fresh Monkey Fiction.
Oh.
They got a whole Yuletide line out. You get like regular, Santa Claus, and then you can get African Black Santa Claus, and then you can get evil android Santa Claus and demon Santa Claus, and then all the elves fall into the same place too. It's fucking sweet.
Oh,
I like Santa Claus.
Who doesn't?
He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Now DC and Marvel have Santa Claus in there. Yeah, because he's public domain.
Oh yeah. Damn it, I can't find it.
It's almost Christmas.
Dude, the year just goes by so damn fast.
Yeah.
But I tell you the one line that I'm eventually gonna have to get the entire line of is that Batman and Ninja Turtles animated line that they did.
Okay.
That's on the not quite Grail, but Grail-ish, if you will.
What was up with that ninja?
What's up?
What was up with that Ninja Turtle that you sent me with the power sword from Motu?
That was a custom. Some guy, he makes those, and I went to the website. I think they're like between $200 and $300 a piece for those.
Wow.
I was like, they're fantastic, but a bit out of my price range, sir. For one figure, I think it's like 1/12 scale too. I was like, ugh.
1/12.
I mean, it's like awesome work, but I was like, yeah, that's not within the budget right now.
I'm going to sit up. I look like just a head. I look like MODOK.
Man, why can't I find these things?
Better.
So, Adam, what are you watching? Are you watching anything right now?
I am not. Well, like I said, okay, so here we go. That stuff I said last week on the show is true. My knowledge of modern police work has increased exponentially, except for its USA 20 teens police work with Rizzoli and Isles and the Closer and even the Ghost Whisperer, who's kind of like a ghost cop. And so I got this local.
You ever watch those shows with Jason? Would Jay and be like,
No. Well, I have watched one show with him that's another story because it's hilarious while he's watching it, just getting pissed. But, so I went, okay, that's enough of this crap because they show the same show, but not the same episode, but the same shows, all back to back to back.
Right.
I went down into my basement. I dug out my Xbox 360.
Oh boy.
and I got my Arkham Origins game going. I haven't played it since I beat it back in like 2014 when it came out, and or was it 13? I'm not sure, but I'm enjoying it. I've got a fresh new game going. I deleted all the old stuff off of it. Here we go, and I've been playing that, and then turning on Rizzoli and Isles here and there because I really love Rizzoli. Love. That's the word. You know what I mean. Lust.
Yeah, I'm on occasion I get fixated with a movie. A few years ago when it came on Netflix, I pretty much watched The Departed like constantly.
Okay.
And now I've got a new movie that's kind of creeping into that, and it's The Big Short, based off of the housing market crash of 2008.
Okay.
And it's got Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, the priest from what is it? Is it Midnight Club? One of those shows on Netflix.
Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass. The priest from that. Got a bunch of people in it. It's a freaking fantastic movie. It's directed by the same guy who did Anchorman. And the deal was, in order to do this movie, he had to do Anchorman 2. So they let him do that. And I just, the way that they do it, because it's like a terrible thing that happened in American history. 2, it deals with like the financial market, which is just, after watching this, I know less than I thought I knew about like finances and stuff like that, of like how the big machine works. But also it's, historical, and you'll always have to do, a grain of salt anytime there's a historical movie, right? And
Sure. Yeah.
the funny thing is a couple of the scenes where Ryan Gosling will break the fourth wall and say, or even the characters in movies, like, this isn't really how it happened. We're just doing it this way for the movie. Like, it's kind of funny.
Oh, wow.
It stops like, yeah, this didn't do this. We did this. And there was a scene where Steve Carell interrupted this guy giving a presentation, and then he takes a call and like walks out, and it cuts to, pans over to Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling's character's like, that really happened. That he did that in real life. I was there, and I'm just like, the way it's presented, it's fascinating and terrifying and funny all at the same time. Where I know a lot of people are big fans of like The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not as big a fan of that movie, just because I'm not a big fan of like, hey, debauchery, yay. But I would kind of put it on that same level. But I like The Big Short like right now. And does pretty much like anytime I'm just doing something and I don't want to pay attention, like it's that movie, or I'll just put it on in the background. But yeah, I love that movie right now, and that came out in 2015. So I would recommend that one.
What's it called again?
The Big Short.
The Big Short. I'll have to give it a go, buddy.
Yeah.
What about let's see, I haven't seen anything. The last movie I saw was with you.
Yeah. Oh, and another movie I did want to talk about that's also on Netflix is The Pope's Exorcist.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
So
I saw that a couple months ago.
Yeah. So when before the movie came out, Russell Crowe was on the Critical Drinkers podcast, and he gave an interview and was talking about it. So like The Pope's Exorcist, that's a dude, like that's a real guy. And I was kind of interested. I was really intrigued by that movie because I was like, okay, I know like this is somewhat based off of true events. There's always in this realm, a horror movie, there's always a little bit of, let's, what happened, or what happened, what didn't happen. And then like at the end, it kind of went almost like Van Helsing-esque, where there's like, is this like the start of a sequel? Are we going to franchise this now, where we're going to go hunt down the other 199 demons, that are So
I know it was a little bit of a strange ending. Yeah, it was a little bit of a strange ending.
Because it was like grounded, and we're just going completely off the rails. We're going, there's fire and lava and things just spinning around, and I was like,
yeah,
that took a turn.
I enjoyed it though, for the most part. Though I mean, like I agree, it was a different kind of ending, but
I thought Russell Crowe
from
was
what
fantastic as that character.
Yeah, I thought he did he did awesome, man. It did a good job of scaring you beyond jump scares. Made you think, similar to the way The Exorcist did.
But
yeah,
but also in the same way with that, I was kind of trying to explain to Nate. We're like, hey, if you're watching the Pope's Exorcist, like there is a God, there is heaven, hell, there's angels and demons. It's where it's just this is the world. There's no is there? It's like nope. In this world, this is what it is, and that's kind of what I was trying to portray in when we were talking about our book earlier. I don't think I did a great job, but that's like in that way that yeah, God's real, and there's demons, and there's angels, and there's people fighting the fight.
Yeah, I think you did a fine job explaining it. So,
but Arnett, I think it's a good spot to wrap it up. So,
all right, my man, we'll put a pin in it right here. I guess I'll be seeing you this weekend. Let me know how your Saturday looks.
Yeah, I say,
or possibly tomorrow night. We'll see.
Yeah, it's Labor Day weekend, so hope everybody has a good weekend, and hope we have a good weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
But other than that, Adam, let's so yeah, if you want to see what we're doing on the old Instagram and Facebook, go check us out. Big Escape with Nick and Adam. If not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. It does help a lot. And if you want to take us on the road with you, we are on all the major podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, and Google Podcasts. Any last words, my friend?
By the power of Planet Houston.
Good night, America. Okay.
Love ya.